Now in Mumbai, the civil aviation regulator, the DGCA, has ordered about 70 buildings surrounding the Mumbai airport to reduce their height in 60 days flat. Amita Balachandra caught up with these residents at Santa Cruz. Listen in.
The notice is asking us to reduce the height of our antennas and the tanks, which are protruding upwards. Now these tanks are there for quite a long time. And all of a sudden, if they ask us to reduce these things without giving us much notice, that is creating a problem for all of us.
So will you then be asking for compensation, because your building especially is one building where you will have to demolish one or two floors as well?
2.8 meters they had given us a notice. First of all, as my friend Mr. Furtado said, we are all staying here for more than 50 years. All the buildings are having NOC, OC certificate from Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. We do not know when Airport Authority started giving NOCs.
That you just have about 15 days left now for this month to end, and lesser than that in fact, and you have to act on this notice as soon as possible. What are you planning to do?
We are on the verge of hiring one architect plus one advocate who has already filed a PIL.
We also accept that certain things have to happen for the safety of the people. But at least consider the lives of so many people we are being disrupted.
Now, Amita caught up with the residents. She also caught up with the Airports Authority of India, and she now joins me live with more details over there. Amita, residents facing the heat for no fault of theirs. They obviously bought those flats after being assured that those flats have got all the necessary certifications from all the authorities.
Well, people living in close to 70 buildings may soon lose their homes because the DGCA, after the Bombay Directorate directed them to do so, the DGCA has now sent notices to these buildings asking them to partially demolish their buildings by the 31st of July 2017 to ensure safe flight path. Now, these buildings currently in Vile Parle, Ghatkopar and Santa Cruz of the city of Mumbai are considered as obstacles for flight path, and in case of emergency landing, then these are considered obstacles, is what we understand. The Airport Authority of India, of course, has told us that they have violated NOC norms and most of the buildings are above the permissible limit of height, and residents of these buildings, of course, are extremely worried at this point because, first of all, they're running out of time. They just have a couple of days left for them to take some sort of action, and currently are now turning towards the courts because the only other silver lining they have at this point is to ask for compensation, which they can do.
How many people could be affected by this? Clearly, they have around 6 days left. It is 25th today. They have time till the 31st July. How many people could be affected by this? How many buildings? Most of these, we understand, are very, very old. And could this extend to any more buildings, because the tunnel of flight, as the airlines call it, is quite large in Mumbai?
Absolutely. In fact, over 137 buildings, we understand, are in the approach and are being considered. Very soon they will also receive notices by the DGCA, and this is only the first phase where 70 buildings have been issued notices. And in these buildings, of course, some of them are getting to demolish one or two floors, and these are only half of the 70 buildings. So not all 70 buildings are affected, but these citizens here have been staying in these buildings for nearly 50 to 60 years now, and they most of them are retired citizens, and the biggest question that they have at this point is, where will we go? Why didn't the DGCA act sooner?